Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, skilled trade professions, technical training programs, and career readiness skills, all designed to help you make the best career decisions possible. I'm Toni Cureton, your host, and today we are with MSGCU Credit Union, and they've been doing our financial literacy series. And today we are going to learn about budgeting and living on your own, and how to manage all of these things as a young adult, or maybe even an older adult that, never really learned how. So Colleen, welcome back. We're so glad to have you. You're muted, Colleen.
I'm sorry, apologize. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be back here. Glad to be talking. And today's topic is actually for all ages, from like 14, 15 through ever.
Yeah.
Acing the job interview. So I've been getting away from the videos. I kind of realized today I haven't shown a video in a little while. So there's a cute video on acing a job interview that goes over the basics, what we're going to cover, and then I will see you in a few.
Okay, Jen, you got this. The job is as good as yours.
Wow.
Hey, don't you have kids to tote?
Not at the moment, but I could help you ace your job interview. For a price.
Job interview tips from a talking kids ride? Seems legit.
Wise choice. Now, let's get started. If you want to make a great first impression, you've got to ace what you wear. You're best off with something vibrant and memorable. Don't be afraid to express yourself. This getup might be a bit too formal.
But it's my super fancy suit. I don't have time to go.
Don't worry, lady, I got this.
Wow, you're so talented.
You also need to ace what you bring. For instance, your resume should be informative, tidy, and neat. Not a biographical epic.
Oh.
Ugh, just a sec.
Oh, spiffy. I'm good to go.
Whoa, lady. How much do you know about this establishment anyway?
Candy museum? It's perfect for me because I love candy and guided tours.
There's more to the museum business than you might think. So, ace what you know. Being informed about the company is a big benefit in any interview. Show some real interest, and they just might return it. You could check for info on blogs, news, the company website, and social media. Just don't get too familiar and start talking about awkward office party pics or something.
Hey, I love that candy fair. I know tons about it, too. Gotta use that.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, well, it's really the talking part that makes me nervous.
So take an improv class. Sign up for a public speaking workshop. You want to be clear, positive, and confident without oversharing. In other words, ace what you say.
Uh-huh.
It also helps to know what your strengths and weaknesses are, so you can promote your strengths and be ready to address how you're improving your weak points. This way you don't get caught off guard in the interview. And keep in mind, a big part of what you say is body language.
Wow, power pose. I see what you mean.
Right? So, ace what you wear, ace what you bring, ace what you know, and ace what you say. Now get in there and land yourself that sweet job.
Thanks. You know, you really should get paid more.
What's an awkward situation you've encountered on the job, and how did you handle it?
All right, so very cute. This topic is super important, and oops, I'm looking at the wrong one here. I'm sorry. Oh, got it. acing the job interview. There you go. It's not something you'll use once or twice or 3 times. You are going to be dealing with interviews, I don't want to say the rest of your life, but interviews are more than just a job. It could be the first time you're meeting your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents. It could be you're trying to maybe gain a raise or a promotion within your job, or you have to network and meet important people. Just that act of conversation, and especially after COVID, we're all out of practice. Literally practice. How do you ace that conversation, that interview? How do you become memorable? So there's some great information in here, and we'll jump right in. Preparing for the interview. Like I said, preparing, you need to stand out. You booked the interview, but you are one of multiple people. You don't know how many. You could be one of 2 or 3 or 4 or of 50. You know, it could be a 10-minute interview. It could be a 60-minute interview. You'll probably have more of an idea, but there's lots of different types. You know, you got to be ready for anything. Preparation is key. You need to seem confident. You know, I've done this before. I'm prepared. I know what I'm doing. I don't panic. You don't want to sound like that. So going through the ACEs that the carnival horse went through today, ace what you wear. And this is very important. It did mention, the horse mentioned you can dress down a bit from your fanciest suit, but still dressed up, still not something every day, not even something you would wear into the office. I mean, something you'd wear into the office, but, you know, a blazer, you know, nice shoes, you're put together, purposeful. It's purposeful, you know, the earrings match the necklace, or, you know, I got the dress dry cleaned a year ago and it's just been hanging in the closet waiting for a special occasion to be worn. You know, now it's nice and clean. Pay attention to what you're wearing. You're not wearing logos. You're not trying to really show off your fashion. Once you get there, you show your personality, you can start showing off your, you know, fashion personality. Right now, you just want to be nice and polished and professional. You don't want to be completely neutral, like she had this kind of boring brown suit, but, you know, these are kind of nice statement earrings, perhaps. I wouldn't want to wear big earrings and a big necklace and maybe a bunch of rings, and certainly not jingly bracelets. That's another thing. You don't want to wear clothes that make noise, you know, the windbreaker, something. Pay attention. You know, is this something comfortable to sit in? Can your legs, can you move? You know, do you feel? Practice what you wear. Make sure it's something that looks professional, that's nice and comfortable. Ace what you bring. And this is, of course, important. Depends what industry you're going in, exactly what would kind of be in that folder. Certainly your resume, certainly references. You know, you don't necessarily have to have a whole letter of recommendations, but, oh, you're looking for references. I just so happen to have their names and, you know, contact information right here. You may not get asked for anything. For teachers, when we get interviewed for a teaching position, a lot of times they'll ask to see previous lessons you've created or previous student work, or you know, a syllabus for an entire class, or can you send us a presentation you've created? And you have to have that ready. You're not sure which one or all of those they're going to ask for, or none, but you want to have it just in case, right? You don't want to have everything but the thing they ask for. Have examples of your work. You cut hair, have some pictures of your favorite hair, you know, hairstyles, haircuts you've done. Maybe bring newspaper clippings when they did a review on how great your the lawns look at your land, you know, with your landscaping company. Think ahead of time. What could I bring? I don't want to just throw things at the interviewer. But besides my resume, is there anything that I could provide to set me apart? For instance, if you're looking if it's some sort of design job, marketing, advertising, designing, animation, you're just getting into your hobbies. Oh, well, I just so happen to have, sample work, or here's a link to a place you can view that video I made, or here's a link to a slideshow. I don't have any website of lesson plans that I've made, but you can do as much as is appropriate for the position you're applying for, but have it prepared. Don't assume because they have your resume that the person interviewing you has really studied up and read it. They may have just kind of looked at it that day. They skimmed through it. They're asking questions because they didn't necessarily read it in detail. They want to hear it from your mouth. Right? Ace what you know. This one is key. This is really the prepared part. When the horse says, this candy museum is more than just candy. You need to learn something about it. That is so important. Again, you may be interviewing against 10 other people. How do you stand out? What makes you memorable? I always tell the story when I interviewed for this job at MSGCU. One of the questions I got was, what makes a credit union different than a bank? And you'd really think someone interviewing at a credit union should have really researched that. And I kind of fumbled my way through a halfway correct answer that was an educated guess, and felt terrible. The interview went on at the end. He says, "Oh, do you have any questions?" And I said, "Yes. Actually, if I'm lucky enough to get a second interview, is there anything you think I can work on?" And he said, "I would learn more about this company." And thank God I got the second interview, because I studied up. But it's such a huge lesson. If the company is going to invest in you, they're going to pay you, give you benefits. Have you bothered to research them? What does make a credit union different? Well, it's a not-for-profit. Its earnings help the community and its members. It's a democratic rule. There could be all kinds of answers. For that second interview, I had done all kinds of research online. Since I'm in education, you had a Salute a Teacher program, you have classroom cash grants. I think it's so great. You give away $100,000 in scholarships. Those stats, the fact that you took the time to research the company, the fact that this isn't just another company on your list. Honestly, each company knows you're probably not putting all your eggs in one basket. You're applying in multiple places because that makes sense. They want to trust you. You want to trust them. If you're going to help each other, you got to prepare too. Read, maybe they won some awards previously. Maybe this location sponsors a Little League team. Do some research, something you can compliment. You certainly don't want to bring up, "Oh yeah, it's a shame you guys lost that lawsuit against the the zoning." And you're like, "No, don't bring that up." No, just I've been coming here since my kids were little, whatever it is. Take some time, even if it's, I don't know, McDonald's, it's interesting that this location's been here for 75 years. You still took the time to look up how long that location's been there, right? Do some research. Ace what you say. Again, very important. We can do all the preparation. We can learn. We can have all the documents. We can have a stack of documents, which we don't need to bring a stack of them. But if we can't express what we're trying to say, if we can't show ourselves, I mean, we've kind of lost the interview, right? So verbal talking, putting sentences together, thinking on your feet, that's a big bulk of what the interviewer is asking you to do. Luckily, not all interviews not all interviews are the same, but they're pretty alike. They have a lot of similar questions. So you can prepare for the questions in the same way that you'll take an SAT prep course. Well, we're not preparing you for literally this test. We're not saying this is going to be the question, so let's learn this. You're learning a whole bunch of stuff because any of that information might be on the SATs. So you want to practice a bunch of information ready to go because you're pretty sure this one or this one or this one is going to be picked in the interview, right? Besides your verbal communication, which we're going to talk more about in a minute, be mindful of your body language. This is something I struggle with. I'm always using my hands. I've been told I use my hands too much. I get nervous, so I've really had to develop a trick of just kind of turning my ring, because I would want to play with my necklace, or I'd play with my hair, and that's distracting, right? That makes you look nervous, that makes you look uncomfortable. Just relax. Okay, are you shaking your leg? Something a lot of people don't realize, you know, they're turning the chair. Yeah, I'm being very professional, but they're just not even noticing how much they're, you know, maybe they're rolling around or just stay in one spot. Eye contact. You don't want to look down the whole time. You don't want to avoid eye contact. You want to have a real conversation. I came here to talk to you. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for meeting with me. Posture exercises. You say, well, why would I exercise posture? Well, think about sitting. When you're sitting at home, you're probably like slumped, or even when you're sitting at school. Heck, even when I'm sitting at work, you know, I'll be, you know, maybe slumped over the table typing. When you're at the interview, no matter where it is, no matter what kind of table, you want to sit up straight, right? You want to sit up straight. You want to give them your full attention, you know, kind of laying back, slumping. It shows relaxation, at ease, comfort. So just having a straight posture, straight back, you know, it shows I'm paying attention. It shows I'm taking it seriously, right? You wouldn't, you know, put your feet up on the desk. That shows I'm so comfortable, I'll put my feet up on the desk. That would be very unprofessional, right? Same idea. A lot of people forget that, you know, playing with their hands or their hair, your physical body can do a lot of talking too. So keeping your hands under the table, you know, if you fiddle with your hands, try to make a point to keep them under the table. Practice posture. You know, when you catch yourself at school, let me sit up straight again. So the top 5 interview questions. I knew we were going to get into this again. How do I prepare to answer questions? Again, you could be interviewing for a new job, for a new position, you know, in the same company. You could be interviewing for a scholarship, or, you know, you're applying to get a grant, you know, you're applying for money. It could be a lot of things, but either way, these 5 questions are probably going to come up in all of those situations, right? Okay, so we're going to get ahead of the game. Tell me about yourself. Now, however that's phrased, tell me about yourself. So what makes you special? So start at the beginning, you know, tell me about yourself. However it's phrased, it's how do you describe yourself? You know, put yourself in this elevator pitch. It's an icebreaker. It's a beginning. It shouldn't be a surprise. You know, you're going to have to describe yourself. It sounds easy, but it's a lot harder than it sounds. oh, well, I like the color blue. I like warm weather. Oh, that's probably not what you're asking. I have 8 years of experience and I've worked at this school and I worked there from this year to this year. Oh, that's probably not what you're asking either, because that's on the resume. Just tell me about yourself. Just, oh, I'm Colleen Godfrey. I've been in education for a couple decades now, through lots of different subject matter subjects. See, this is bad. This is why I got to practice. Through lots of subject matters, even becoming an expert on personal finance. I'm an only child. I'm vegetarian. I love history, and I speak a little French. Now, that's not the greatest answer in the world, but that's more along the lines of what they're looking for. Give me a little background. Tell me a little something interesting. Don't read me your resume. I can see and I can read. Well, I got my degree from here and then I got a job here. That's not what you would say to someone on the street, right? What would someone say? Oh, this is my friend Colleen. And they're like, oh, Colleen, what's up with you? Well, I graduated in this year and then I got no, you would say, oh, nothing. I'm just, I like to hang out at home, watch comedy movies and play with my dog and read books. Oh, that sounds interesting. I like to read books too. The tell me about yourself is coming. There's no one perfect answer, but think about it. What are some things that make you memorable, make you different, right? Don't lie, but oh, I'm one of 13 kids, or I lived overseas. I speak multiple languages. I play a very unique instrument. My great-great-grandfather was someone famous. I've been snowboarding since I was 2 years old. Think of something that makes you different. It doesn't mean an achievement. It's just something that makes you you. I've always loved Batman. In fact, even to this day, I have a Batman cookie jar and Batman salt and pepper shakers. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I have a hobby. I'm kind of a fun-loving person. I don't mind having a, novelty salt and pepper shakers. It means I'm kind of laid back. I can take a joke, right? It's sending a message without having to explain all that. So practice, think about what are some, how would I talk up myself? What is so great about myself? What's your greatest strength? What are you good at? What are you going to bring to the table? What can you bring to this company? Any version of that question, what makes you so great? Why should I hire you instead of the next guy? And again, you want to be prepared. You don't want to have to think about it. Strength, something I'm good at, Just give me 1 second. That's too long, right? You don't want to have to stop and think about having to come up with something you're good at. Don't think you have to be perfect at whatever this is. Your strength could be, I'm really friendly. I always make people feel welcome. I love going out and working with the public. Everyone thinks I'm, they call me very motherly. I'm very friendly. Warm and welcoming. Okay, that's good. You could say, you know what? I just love data and spreadsheets and formulas. It's, it's kind of nerdy, but I just love numbers and I'm just really good at it. And if I could do spreadsheets all day, you could say that. You could say, strength, punctuality. Ever since I was a kid, my dad drilled into me about being on time. So if there's one thing you can bet on, it's that I'm never going to be late for anything. What is a strength about you as a person? Not necessarily, well, I'm really good at teaching about Abraham Lincoln. Okay, you might be really, hopefully you're good teaching a lot of different things. What are you going to bring? What are you bringing to our family at this business, this department, right? You don't want, well, no, I'm quiet, I'm shy, I'm just going to kind of sit here. You want to show a personality. Are you going to fit in? Are you a good vibe? Along the same lines, what's your greatest weakness? It could be, what do you need to work on? Where do you need to improve? Where do you need the most help? However it's phrased, admit to me what you need some help on. Admit to me what is a challenge for you, because everybody has some sort of a challenge. I gave an example of a person who said they're on time all the time. Oh my God, I know someone that you can bet probably way too much money that they're never, ever, ever going to be on time. It's different people. Different bosses tolerate different things. But what do you need to work on? Saying, I don't come on time, that's not a good answer. Saying, I get really easily distracted and it's really hard to get stuff done by the deadline. Don't say that either. What are some things that we can admit that we struggle with that don't make us sound like a bad worker, right? Depending on the job you're applying for or what you're applying for, it could be the content, for instance, when I was applying it at the credit union, and they said, what's your greatest weakness? Well, I don't know a lot about credit unions. I come from teaching history and French. This whole finance industry is new. So honestly, I'd say my weakness is in my current knowledge of finance. So I know I'm really going to have to work on that. Okay, I'm admitting that there's something I need work on, that I'm not that great in. I need to improve. It's something that makes sense. There could be another candidate who says, oh, I've been doing this for years, and they may go with that person. But it's a valid thing to say, you know what, I'm really excited to start working here at this studio, at this restaurant, at this, school. And I know I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm excited to learn all these new things. Okay. You could say things, I tend to get real quiet. I tend to get really focused and kind of forget that others are around, and just really focus on myself. And I really know I should, kind of acknowledge other people every now and again. Maybe something like that. You don't want to say, I work too hard. I just come in too early and stay too late. It just sounds fake, right? You could say issues you've had in the past, you're working on, things you're struggling with. But you don't want to say something that it would be a deal breaker. I'm not willing to learn, or well, what's my weakness? Well, I'm not going to work Saturdays. That's not great. You can maybe say, what's your weakness? Well, I'm going to school right now as a full-time student. So unfortunately, the amount of time I can devote to this job isn't as much as I know you probably want, and as much as I would like to. So unfortunately, the hours, my weakness is really how much time per week I can even devote to this job. That's a potential answer. But again, think of it ahead of time. You're going to want to, again, you don't want to sit there, weakness, something I need to work on. You want to have an answer. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, this is kind of a tricky question. It's not a trick question, but you really want to keep in mind, ideally, you are at this company. A lot of people forget that. Oh, I'll have my master's degree. I'll be married. I'll live in Austin, Texas by then. Maybe I'll have moved to California by then. Maybe I'll have 2 kids by then. Whatever you're thinking, they would like to hear you say that you plan on actually staying at this company, right? If you say, oh, in 5 years, oh, I hope to open up my own restaurant, a couple towns over. That's really my dream. Oh, well, this interview was going really well, but if in 5 years you plan on just training how to do the job here and then leaving and opening up your own shop, I kind of lost my incentive to hire you. That doesn't sound good. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Oh, moving to California, moving to New York City. Okay, well, clearly I'm going to have to invest time and effort and in training. And you already know you're going to be leaving. Or if they don't want to hear that. Even if in your head, you're thinking to yourself, I'm definitely not going to be at this company in 5 years. I really just need any job right now. And I just need to get hired at this job. Nobody's making you sign a contract that says you promise to still be here in 5 years. At this time where I see myself, well, still in the industry, hopefully still working full-time for a credit union, hopefully still educating, still reaching out to the community, working in a nonprofit. You don't have to lie. You can throw in your life goals and be realistic, but don't forget about loyalty to the company. You don't want to say you're moving away. You don't want to say you're planning on, my side hustle of, baking pies. I think I really wanted, I think I have something and I might want to take off with that. Oh, well, if you're just going to leave me to start your own business, then I'm not really going to invest all this time in setting you up as an employee when I got to train someone else. So you got to think about these things. Think about how you answer. Where do you see yourself? How many quarters would you need to reach the height of the Empire State Building? Why would they ask such a ridiculous nonsense question? It's not about the exact answer. Nobody has the exact answer. You'll go nuts trying to think of the exact answer. They want you to be thrown off a bit. Not thrown off, but interviewers know you should be practicing. You should be prepared. This isn't your first interview, probably. So how do you answer a question that you didn't expect, that you didn't see coming? How do you answer something you couldn't prepare for? Now, how many quarters would you need to reach the height of the Empire State Building? Oh, wow, I don't even know if I can count that high. That's that would certainly be in, maybe the 100,000s or so. Oh, well, I don't know. One time I went to the Empire State Building when I was young and we went on a field trip, blah, blah, blah. Actually, did you know my great grandfather helped build the Empire State Building? It's not about necessarily the exact answer. You could say, well, if you gave me 10 minutes and I could figure out some calculations and let you know, but I'd like to actually spend that time talking to you. Right? It's not about actually finding the real answer. I've seen questions like, so if you were an animal, what type of animal would you be? So what type of fruit do you feel you represent? Something like that. What type of fruit? Maybe an orange because, it's nice. It's circle. Orange is my favorite color. And, it's good at breakfast. It's good for a snack. It's good for sports. It's good in juice. It's really versatile. And I feel like I can fit in, to a lot of different places, sweet and sour and salty. So I'd say orange. It's not about, oh God, what's the right answer? What fruit does he want me to say? It's about why did you pick that? Orange, definitely. Okay, why? Well, I like oranges. Can you give me something else? Can you tell me a little more? They want to know what kind of dog. Oh, this specific type of dog is really loyal, or this type of dog really likes to explore, or is always grooming themselves. There isn't a right answer. There's just not great answers. So practice being unprepared. kind of, having a bunch of weird questions and putting them in a pile, and then, just pull one, you don't know which one it is, and you have, 10 seconds to think about an answer, and then give an answer. You want to practice, literally practice. Find your voice. Even the most confident people get nervous, I'm coming here asking for a job. I'm trying to sell myself. I don't want to say anything wrong. I want everything to go perfect. It can be nerve-wracking. Am I sweating too much? Did I stutter? Did I already say that? Oh my gosh, did I miss what the person just said? It can be nerve-wracking. Preparation helps. It'll go a lot better. Practicing with other people, your friends. Literally, tell me about yourself. Oh, what's your greatest strength? What do you think my greatest? Practice literally with people, back and forth. Improv classes, even acting classes, even find some webinars. There's tons of stuff online you can look up now. Public speaking courses, practicing in front of the mirror, videotaping yourself. I know that a lot of stars, when they just become stars, maybe they're 15 or this is their first movie, and they don't really know how to talk to the press, or they haven't had experience talking to the press. They make them go through basically a class of how to stand, how to talk, how to, not be doing this with your chair, how to not be covering up your hands so people can't really understand what you're saying. It's a skill. It's a skill to learn. So if you want to get the job, if you want to stand out, you want to prepare, you want to ace the interview, you want to be memorable. What is it about you that's going to be memorable? It doesn't have to be perfect. There's no perfect, but memorable. All right. Miss Cureton, is there anything you can think of? There, I could go on and on with interview stories and things not to do, but we're going to focus on, just being comfortable, being yourself, but very professional and respectful.
Yes, indeed. When you get questions that are saying, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? With regards to the what is your weakness, you don't want to leave a bad impression by saying you're incompetent, but you don't want to also be, as Colleen said, fake, unrealistic about various attributes and characteristics that you possess. Everybody has an area where they need to improve. But the suggestion is when you're giving the characteristics that show you, being weak or struggling with, or that you need improvement with, you approach it from the perspective, I had a situation where I had a deadline to meet with an assignment, and I got a little overwhelmed, but I was able to reach out to my supervisor or my colleague, and they were able to provide me with the assistance that I needed so that I could complete that assignment on time. So what you're doing is you're showing the characteristic that you need improvement on, but you're also in that same paragraph, in that same sentence, problem solving the, I don't want to say negative, but it
responsible.
is. Yes, you're showing that you are taking ownership of what took place and that you found a solution for it. So when you're asked that question, think about areas that you do need improvement on and share with them the information of a situation where you were able to apply that solution and overcome your weakness. And that's how you turn those kinds of questions into positives and pluses when you're in an interview, because you have to remember the interviewer is looking to see if you can problem solve, to see if you are flexible and resilient and if you can come up with solutions. So think of those questions in terms of a problem-solving situation, and you offer the answer, but then you offer the solution to that answer right in the same paragraph. That is what I have to say about that.
Definitely. I thought of while you were saying that, experience of just, I lack, experience. I just need more time. I just don't have the same past experience length that some of these other people do. That's just stating a fact, really. I just had another one, but it's gone. But there's a few. There's some you can massage in there of, someone, this is a situation where I felt someone else handled it really well. And, I've always remembered that. And I'd like to be that person. And I don't know. I don't really see myself as that person right now. So I'm working to where I can be the person who handles a situation like this, or, something again, where you're working towards you're on the right path to everything they're looking for.
Do you guys have any questions? Feel free to unmute and ask, or if you want, you can type it in the chat and I'll be more than happy to read your questions.
We'll give them a second. People are typing in. This is a just kind of resource handout I sent to Ms. Cureton. She's going to share, and it's got a lot of what we covered. It's just a great piece to put with your interview folder, that folder where you put all your letters of recommendation and copies of the resume and contact information. Just print this out and put that in that folder.
And you will always have it as a handy, ready reference to use when you are preparing yourself for various interviews. Role play, get with a friend or a family member and ask them to practice these questions with you so that you can become familiar and are able to quickly give a genuine response when your interviewer asks you various questions. Or if you don't have a friend or family member that's willing to role play, get in the mirror and ask yourself these questions and then respond.
I do have a question. Hello there, Colleen and Toni. Thank you so much for this. This is very good information. And I hope that we can do this over and over and over again, because so many students need to hear this and we need to hear it too. I did invite one of my students and I'm not sure if she was able to get in. So I'd like for her to have a chance to see this or to hear these things, because we were just talking about her goal and she said that she's looking for a job and she's looking for a full-time job and she's young, and these kinds of tips would really, really help her. So I definitely hope that we can have this as an ongoing thing, since we have so many students that may need to or who could benefit from this. But what I have to say in regards to the presentation is that practice makes perfect. So I didn't even think about, improv classes or things like that, but practice makes perfect. Because when you go into an interview for the first time, you have no idea that they're gauging not only your talents and your skill sets, but how you can quickly answer questions and how you can quickly come up with analyzations, I should say. You just don't know that. Like if they asked you an off the wall question, like you said, how tall is the Empire State Building? And you're like scrambling. You need to know you don't need to scramble. Your brain isn't scrambled. They just want to know what's in your brain or how you can react to that. So when you don't know, it's like, man, that could anxiety can set in. It's like, whoa, man, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know what you want, and I don't know where to go. And it can lock you down. I have I don't have, for instance, a fear of speaking. I don't know why. But I have a fear of not speaking the right things, or that's what I have a fear of. because I could just talk all day, and I don't know if I'm rambling, but I don't have a fear of speaking. I have a fear of giving the right answer.
Yeah.
So once you kind of get rid of that anxiety, and you just try to go with the flow, or go what first comes to mind, as long as it's an intelligent answer, it's usually the right answer. If it's something off the wall, let's go with it. But that just comes by practice and practice and practice. But if you don't know that, man, it's an uncomfortable feeling. So thank you for sharing that. And I think if we know that, and if our students know that would help them, so that they don't freeze up, or they don't feel like, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm not fit for this. These are some helpful things. So I said all that to say, I hope that we run this again and again and again for the students that could not make it today.
Excellent. I believe I'm available for everyone and everyone. I'd like that you mentioned you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you
Yes.
think, well, I'm not going to practice with my friends, that's embarrassing. I'm not going to practice in the mirror. That's embarrassing. I know how to talk. I'm sure I'll be fine. Okay, but you're not going to get the job. And
Yeah.
isn't kind of the whole end game to actually be getting the job? So you're going to have to be okay. Maybe being, embarrassed for a while, or wearing, it's okay to be uncomfortable, so just try to relax and just roll through. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's exactly
right. Isn't that a conundrum? Isn't that so we got students, high school students, right? And they're 16, they're 17, 18, 19, and some of them, 20, 21. And they've been told probably all their life to, you want to be comfortable, be comfortable, be comfortable. You want to fit in and be comfortable. And you want to be this normal and this. So, man, to turn that upside down, to tell them it's okay not to feel comfortable. It's okay to be comfortable with not being comfortable. So just turning that around, and that's kind of what I do with my students anyways, because we have adverse students, and we have students that come from every aspect, and lots of things are going on in their lives, and they're so I try and make them feel comfortable, but I also let them know it's okay if you're not comfortable. It's okay if you're not learning as fast. It's okay if you're not. So I kind of make that their new comfortable, not being comfortable. I think I said that right. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? Please feel free to jump in. Water is fine today.
I gotta see if my student got on. I don't know if she did.
What's her name, Lisa?
Last name is Rockingham. Tanasha. Tyn. Okay. And I wanted to make sure I sent her the link, but anyways, I sent her your flyer. So
Good deal. Good deal. You guys, if you've got no more questions or comments, we will bring this to a close. I do want to say though, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. See you all next time. Everybody have a great day.